I hear the cars winding up, and here comes our pace car into the paddock. There's our racers. They are formed up. We can expect. There's the green flag.
Green flag.
And here they go. That 912 chasing that Fiat mid-engine. Cars are coming up and they're setting up to go around the bridge. Well, the 912 is on it right now. So this might be shaping up to be the race of this event. Those two lead cars, completely different approaches to racing, completely different eras, really. That's going to make for a lot of fun.
Looking out turn one camera down to the Boulevard of the Allies, which runs into the bridge, the Panther Hollow Bridge that we've been seeing the beautiful shots of all day. It's a great, beautiful park. Here comes the Panther Hollow Bridge.
Oh, there it is. That 912
is absolutely cooking.
He's going to not want to slow down, so he's going to try and keep this turn as smooth as possible, and that is a really good application. And you see that Fiat chasing it down, and then there's a pair of bug-eyed sprites right there, as they always are. And there is Niall in that number 909. What a great little car. Here comes the 912 into Westinghouse turn. We just saw an interview there, and they are going on it, and that Fiat has managed to close the distance.
Yeah, we're once again, the small bore cars don't have the horsepower of some of the other ones. And you know how you make a small bore car go around the track really fast, Mental? Don't hit the brakes.
Don't hit the brakes at all. So you want to be as smooth as possible.
Momentum, keeping your momentum, reserving your momentum. Beautiful 999 of Josh Gould out of Presto, PA. That is a 1939 Mercury Sprint.
We had that Fiat. It is making a bold move to retake the lead as they come into turn 13. This is going to be great on the switchbacks. Obviously, some respectful racing. They're giving each other lots of room, but that doesn't mean they're giving any quarter. And that 850 Fiat is now getting on there, but that 912 is not letting him get away, and they are being hounded by those pair of bug-eyed sprites right now. That's Abigail and John, 47 and 66 respectively.
Yeah, John Iorio and Abigail Patterson. John is out of Bethel Park, PA in his 1960 Bug-Eye, and Abigail Patterson in 59 Austin Healey Bug-Eye, also out of Pittsburgh, PA. So Eastern PA people here.
Oh, yeah. And, I'm seeing Briner is the one in that 714 Fiat, and he's just from up the road from you, Jeff. He's from Reading.
Oh, excellent.
Okay. Hey, now, keep watching this and keep watching this battle. We're going to cut away to a racer. We've got Craig Seiffer. He's a great racer, and I think he is actually going to be later on today, but he's got a number 59 bug-eyed Sprite, and we're going to watch that racing. But they're just going to do the picture-in-picture, so stay tuned. It's the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix. Thanks for watching.
This is the Austin Healey Sprite, what we call the Bug-Eye Sprite of Craig Seifert from Oakdale, Pennsylvania. I've been mispronouncing your name then through the years. Yeah. How many years have you been here?
10.
Okay, I apologize for 10 years of mispronouncing your last name.
I'll answer anything. I'm easy. So, yeah, Seifert's okay. Seifert, that's good. So
we're celebrating the 100th anniversary of MG, but the Austin Healey Sprite, the Bug-Eye, is celebrating 65 years. Is that right?
Correct. This is a 59. So last year I ended up first place when the under 1 liter. This year is a motor change. I got a 1.5 in it, so I'll be running with the next class up. So
the big bore cars.
Yeah. Compared to that, yeah, they're big bores.
But you won the under 1 liter last year.
Yep. Yeah, it's a fun race. It's a great race. This car's perfect for this track. I just put a different motor in because a lot of people aren't running the 948 motors anymore. They're running the 1275. It's easier to get parts for. So it's just a lot more motor, which you wouldn't think of because it's, from 1,000 seat to 1,200. I mean, it's really, but there's a lot of parts for them, and it just makes it last. So they're fun.
It is interesting for people like me who are trying to keep track of, who's who in the group, to try to figure out when you look at a bunch of sprites and realize they're not all running the same motor.
Hey, there's actually 4 different motors came in a Sprite. It came in the 948, a 1098, a 1275, and then the last ones were 1500s. And no one likes the 1500 because they just weren't made, so no one even uses those motors in these. It's all 1275s that everyone goes to, but I have the original 948 that I went with last year that I can switch to if I'm running with a certain group and I go to a different class or something. But this 1275, I don't know. I'm hoping to get middle of the pack because it's all brand new. And I got to run it last week, and I had all kind of issues with teething issues, I guess you'd call them. But we'll see what happens this week. Hopefully I can get on a podium again. It'll be fun.
Now, this track, this course that we build out of the public roads in Schenley Park, it's got the crown to the road. That's got to make a real challenge for a driver.
Oh, it does. 10 years ago, well, probably 11 years ago now, I had a TR4, and I drove the track backwards the whole time trying to get a feel for it. And I did it at like 6 in the morning. When people are out walking their dogs and their kids at 6, and I keep going around doing this, going from one side of the road to the other, and they're like, what is wrong with this guy? Because this is the challenge of this course, because you got manhole covers, you got sewers, you got fire hydrants, and in front of a fire hydrant's a wall, a hay bale, and there's a wall built by an Italian 150 years ago. You're not going to move, so I mean, it's a challenging course, but it's a lot of fun. So
we'll be looking for you on course. Craig Seiffer and his beautiful yellow, signed by Ayrton Senna.
Yep.
Bug Eye Sprite.
Yep. Thank you.
We're back to live racing here.
Now, we mentioned Seifert. In our defense, we've only been mispronouncing your name for 1 year. So that was Craig Seifert right there. We are still looking at that 714 850 Spider. Brand new. That car came with 49 horsepower. Now, I'm sure he's got just a little bit more out of there. And a lot of folks are watching this going, hey, his trunk's open. Nope.
That's not his trunk, Mental. That's where the motor is.
Absolutely, and like any good Italian car, he needs a little extra cooling. So you can see they are on this, but he has managed to hold on to that lead. He is just a couple of seconds in front of that 912, of course, the car number 912 Porsche that is running down 1968 Porsche 912. About 2 seconds in front of that. We are seeing a little bit of smoke, but if you're a fan of Italian cars, you also know that's how they run.
Yeah, Briner Rideabow, believe is how you pronounce it, from Reading, PA, is piloting that 1970 Fiat 850, and he's definitely been working it hard here, making a gap of 2.3 seconds to that 912 from Kobus Renke from Upper Saddle River, New Jersey. So a lot of people putting their cars on the trailer to get here to Schenley Park.
It's totally worth it. Look at this beautiful shot of the switchbacks. Of course they're going to come down here and race. We just heard in the interview, you're dancing with a wall built by an Italian 100 years ago. This is just a fantastic, and the weather's been wonderful. And, as Louis Giannetti Jr. kept saying, everyone here is smiling because it's such a great time. There's a great shot of the switchbacks. There goes that 714. He is starting to stretch that lead out a little bit. Now, he's got about 50 horsepower. That 912 chasing him, when new, that car made about 90 horsepower. But, as you can tell, a little bit heavier. So this is really one of those add lightness and hang on for as much as you can. And as Jeff said earlier, never touch the brakes.
Yes, these are momentum cars, not a lot of horsepower, especially when they're going up the hills. If you don't position your car right on the track, or if you don't hit that exit as hard as you can, you might lose a lot of speed going down that hill.
Absolutely. You know it's going to take you 3 more laps to get it back. So if you're looking to start out racing, start out with a small horsepower car because it's going to make you more precise. Everyone wants to go for the glory fast stuff, but these are some true racers here in these cars, and they're sharing them with us here. Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix. Here's a great shot as they come across the bridge, and that is not slow. That is not slow at all, and he has just thrown that car into that turn as they go around the conservatory and head up towards Westinghouse, both of those competitors.
I don't know if someone's going to call a cop, but they just blew that stop sign.
Oh, that is it. Now they're diving down to that Westinghouse turn, and just look how absolutely smooth. He is using every bit of that road as much as possible, so he doesn't come off on there, but that 912 is right on there. Now we're going to go take away some commercials. Stay with us. Keep watching Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix.
We're going to be here for another moment or two, but if you can get some of the pre-war cars, that's number 77, Jim Vogel.
And the Lagonda, that is just a really, really, really neat car. You're not going to see that thing anywhere else. And this is what's happening is our leaders are starting to catch up on there. So here comes the 750 around that one. How quickly can that 912 get around it? Because there was no holdup at all. That is just some truly, truly good in-class racing, great sportsmanship there. You did see the brake lights, but you're not. Oh, you do see the brake lights on the 912. So they are just grazing those brakes. And those two bug eyes from Abigail and John have not given them anything. So those bug eyes are just waiting right now for someone to make a mistake and put themselves on the podium. We have some traffic coming up there. That 714 has managed to come up with some traffic, and I believe he is involved with that Mercury Sprint, the 39 Mercury Sprint. There it is, coming across there, and it's being chased by the 356, and our race leaders are coming into this.
Quick blue and yellow flag for the Mercury Sprint. It is the vintage sports racers and formula racers, or excuse me, pre-war preservation and production under 1 liter that we're in the middle of here. So great race coming through, but there are some disparate speeds of some of these cars.
Absolutely. So there's that Fiat, and the 912 has managed to close that gap just a little bit. So Kobus has managed to sneak up on him. But if you give that Fiat some open track, it looks like he can get it. Now that Mercury Sprint, it looks like it's a small car, but bear in mind he's got manual steering, and that steering wheel is right in their chest, because that's just how you had to turn those cars. Those are bias ply radial tires that he is wrestling that car around the track with. No small feat at all.
Yeah, we should mention there are 2 very old cars with big wheels that you're going to see on the current section. 1934 Lagonda Rapier. That is the white number 77, along with that Mercury Sprint, which is yellow.
Yes, here's our race leader and number 2 crawling through there. So Briner is taking that 714 and just absolutely cooking through these sections right here. We will see just a little bit of a brake light, but I don't think they're slowing down that much.
Nope,
that
912. Just brush
912.
those brakes in these small bore cars.
Yes, just get on it. Overhead shot now as we get through those switchbacks, and watch the 2 different lines. Now the 912, of course, is a rear-engined car, and that 850 is a mid-engine car, so it does have a slight effect on how they come through these corners. And you want to make sure that you're maximizing this, and they're both on very narrow tires, so you really have to be perfect on that steering input.
Yeah, not as narrow as the cars from the 30s.
No, what you're seeing right here with that 39 Sprint, as it enters into these corners, it's coming around. But there it is. Now that 912 seems to carry a little bit more speed downhill, but I think the Fiat is able to muscle him, and that's a fun phrase to say in regards to a 49 horsepower engine.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you're an 850cc 4-cylinder motor, if you get to muscle anybody, it's a good day.
Especially if it's a Porsche. There they come around the start-finish line again. Now he was running a 239. And Kobus is starting to close that gap a little bit because he ran a 238. And if they keep it up, I don't know that's going to be enough time. Briner's going to have to make a fairly large mistake. And from what we've seen so far, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, the gap is under 2 seconds at 1.6. It was as high as... Oh, where is he, though?
Uh-oh.
Did something slow down?
Or he may have pulled off the course. We may have had our second-place car just had to peel away. And
he's stuck behind slow traffic.
There it is. No, these are our race
leaders.
leaders.
Are our race leaders.
We got a little
Sorry.
lost. They're coming over the Panther Pass Bridge. And yes, absolutely, Kobus has reduced that lead now to a 1.5 seconds. And they are about 11 seconds ahead of the 3rd place, and that is John Arrow in that bug-eyed Sprite. They are really starting to find a good rhythm here. But Kobus is giving nothing. He is going to make Briner earn that podium. And we've seen this all day. Your top runners, no one has run away with a race. Everyone has had to earn a spot on that podium, and that is what makes this so great. And they get out of the car and they shake hands. So here we are, watch them come into turn 13. That is just at the top of the hill, and then they're going to start down through those switchbacks. There it is. That is a different Fiat 850. That is why we got confused. So they are closing in. I'm sorry, that's a
Fiat. You're correct.
It's a
Tom
59.
Raganoni. It was that guy, number 22.
Oh, 22. Okay, that's where he got on there. So here it is, Fiat on Fiat action. You're not going to get this anywhere else.
Who knew we had 2 red Fiat 850s?
Well, yeah,
on the
absolutely.
Field? I mean, we do. We have it right in front of us. We should have known.
Absolutely. This is just really, really cool. There's that J Special we talked about earlier. It was a hand-built, unique car. That's what they were doing back in the 50s. Folks in their garage were just figuring things out and making cars no one had ever seen before. There is that gorgeous 59 Austin Healey Sprite, number 66. That is Abigail Patterson. She's here racing along with the other folks she's a local. She's from Pittsburgh, right here in town. Here's a shot as we come into turn 20, and there's those 2 Fiats. 714 makes quick work of getting to the inside, but that 912 is going to need a little bit more space, and off they go. Really clean racing, very well done, all of those competitors. And here they come to the start-finish line. Again, that trunk isn't open. He just needs that extra cooling.
I noticed that the other competitor with the 850 didn't have his trunk open. Maybe that's why he's not in first place.
Just needs that extra horsepower. And our drone's coming down for a quick landing. We are going to pop out here in just about a minute or so. We're going to go grab an interview.
Oh, it's a great interview. We're going to talk to Dave Gibson from Fredericksburg, Virginia, and his VAY special, which we can see on the track. We spoke to him earlier. We spoke, not us. The interview will not be with us, but we spoke to him while we were on the track the other day, just having a good time and enjoying all the cars.
And I believe that our 912 may have gotten around. He did. He got around 714. That must have been something. That must have gone wrong.
Kobus took first place. We'd
there
love
we go.
to stay with racing. Actually, don't go anywhere because it is going to be picture-in-picture, this race interview with David Gibson. So stick with us. We'll be right back after we hear about this beautiful Canadian special.
This is David Gibson, and he brings a really interesting car to the Schenley Park race every year, this VAY special.
Correct. Yes, it's a joy to bring it. It always draws a lot of attention. Has a lot of race history, being built in the 1950s. Won a couple of titles in Canada. It was built by a gentleman named Victor A. Wychuk, thus the VAY special.
And it was a Canada class car, is that right?
That's correct. It was a constructor's class, whereas they would take production car parts, build their own chassis and body, and make a race car.
So what are the production-based parts on this car?
So it's a bit of a Frankenstein. It has Morris Minor front suspension, MGA rear end, Austin Healey Sprite transmission, BMC A-Series engine, so a little bit of everything. It's a Frankenstein.
It is kind of a monster, and it looks like it would be a lot of fun to drive.
It is. It's a lot like we're racing a go-kart. It's really well balanced. They really did a nice job back in the 50s when they designed it, so it's excellent for this course.
It's like a mashup of a formula car and a production sports car.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's basically an open-wheel car, even though that class you didn't necessarily have to build an open-wheel racer.
We love it, and I understand that the car had a life on the west coast of the U.S. after Canada, and then how did you come to own it? You're in where, Virginia?
I'm in Virginia. I actually saw it online. It was up for sale. Contacted the gentleman that had it out in California, and he would run it in the Rolex. He ran it at different tracks in California, so it's great to bring it to the East Coast.
Love to see it. The VAY special. I call it VAY, but it's the VAY special, and it's David Gibson. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you. I always appreciate it, and it's always a joy to be back in Pittsburgh.
We're back here with a view over the Panther Pass Bridge. In the absence, Kobus managed to get that 912 in front of that Fiat. Here he comes across this bridge right now.
Oh, and he's making some space on him, too.
He is just a bit. Both of them just set their fastest laps of the race. They 2:32 and a 2:34 that last lap. So they are doing fantastic work, and they are really, really going at it. Briner is doing his best to reel him in. This is going to be very interesting as we wrap this up. This is the pre-war under 1 liter, but also some of your production cars. These are not high horsepower cars. These racers are having to be very smooth and very perfect. You see that 850 go chasing the 912 up through the turn. Here we come into the Westinghouse.
Yeah, let's go down. We also have John Iorio with his 60 Austin Healey Bug-Eye in third place, and 66 Abigail Patterson in her 59 Healey in fourth.
Stay with us. We've got an interview right now. No, we do not.
We're reviewing the top three.
We're reviewing the top three. All right, we already heard that. Oh, here we go. And it looks like
the 850 is caught up.
Oh, yeah. He was going to make a move right there. So he is going to keep Kobus on his toes with that one. He has definitely closed that gap. There's some speed happening right there as they come into that final corner, turn 50, or in the corner into turn 15. They're going to go downhill just a little bit and then set themselves up for the switchback. There's that 909 we talked about. What a great little car.
Yeah,
we had an interview with him.
Austin A, right?
Yes, A35, yeah. It looks like he is caught up to that Mercury. There's our Bug-Eyes coming into turn 15.
Yeah, we should mention that this 912 Porsche that we talked about, which is leading the race, Cobus Renneke, that's a short wheelbase 912, right? I mean, they're all the 912s are short wheelbase, correct?
Well, until they started making them again in the 70s. But yes, that's a short wheelbase. And I'm so happy that he preserved it as a race car. So many of those just got sacrificed and turned into outlaws, or even just thrown away when they were new, because it wasn't a 6-cylinder Porsche, and that car is just so nice to look at, and it's so great to see it out here on the track.
I just want to say short wheelbase because our friend Eric Kritzler, the 914 lover, he told me I better call out when it's a short wheelbase. So he's
Absolutely.
a Porsche guy, and I take my take my directions from those guys, because if the Porsche guys come after me, I'm not going to be in a good shape.
There you go. All right, another view. This is going to be some great racing as they come across this Panther Pass Bridge. We could expect to see that 912 in front, and he is Briner is absolutely going to still try and run him down. Now watch how smooth they come to these corners, and I don't think they're touching the brakes. There's no brake lights right there, so they are using the friction of that corner to scrub off speed and keep it running. Sorry, Panther Hollow. I'm saying Panther Pass. I don't know why.
It's all right.
Here they come into the Westinghouse corner.
Because they're trying to pass those Panthers.
They are trying. There it is.
912's coming down. We can
right.
see them sometimes tripod down these roads.
It's a different line that the 850 is taking coming into that corner, and I think he wants to be able to get on the throttle a little quicker, and with a mid-engine, he might be able to make it stick.
Yeah, just some beautiful, beautiful race cars at this beautiful track. Once again, Schenley Park, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. If you have never been to the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix, you need to look at these pictures and say, I'm putting it on my calendar for next year and coming out and checking out the 3,000 cars that are on the show field on Saturday and the wonderful racing all day Sunday.
Yeah. Over 250,000 people every year come to this event. It really is the highlight of the East Coast Vintage calendar. And there's that 912 again going through there. You come out here and you make a donation and hang out with one of the car clubs. We had a lot of interviews with those guys yesterday. What a great time.
Let's see if we can check out the field and see the crowd out there today. Or maybe not.
Okay, so we are looking at turn 15 right now. We can still expect to see what we're going on there. Some of the other folks are coming through. There goes that 1952, or I'm sorry, the 59 Bug-Eye. They're coming through this corner, turn 15, and this is the start, or the beginning of the descent towards the start-finish line, and absolutely Briner has reeled in Cobus and that 912.
Well, they've been trading back and forth all day today. There is, although we say no love lost, they probably do love each other because there's a lot of respect going on here.
Clearly a lot of respect as they're running back and forth on this one. So while you're watching this, hey, check out this word is coming up from our friends over at Cadillac, who are one of the many sponsors that help make this event possible. And we happen to know that while the CTS-V is the car that you want to drive on a track, an Escalade makes a perfect tow vehicle. We are just wrapping it up. Here it is, folks, the pre-war under 1 liter. There's that gorgeous 912 Cobus Renneke, and he managed to hold off that 714 850 Spider. The Lagondas are coming through there. All of them, of course, very appreciative of our volunteer corner workers or track workers.